Or would anybody care that I just experienced this traumatic situation that has impacted me? Fast forward to my 12th grade year, 17 years of age, January 2001. My mother said, "Phil, come downstairs." She said, "Phil, your brother Bobby died." And I started crying. That was probably the only healthy coping skill that I had at the time, right? Because being a product of the hip-hop culture, hip-hop tells me when somebody dies, you either go out and get some liquor or you go get a rest in peace tattoo. Well, I wasn't old enough to drink. That would happen once I got to college, right? But I went out and I got this.
Particular is how can I help people in urban settings or urban communities cope with mental illnesses, mental diseases, and mental disorders. The reason I chose this problem is because, one, I've always lived in inner city, an urban community, somewhere along those lines, and I've always noticed that people have issues with parenting, young girls and young men, low self-esteem, like everything. So I wanted to figure out how we can, as a community, figure out how they can cope with those issues. One of the main problems is that people don't realize when they need help or when they need a therapist. Also, there are a lot One of my 3 solutions were to either do an app that could be easily accessible, have mental health checkups be a priority just like physical health checkups are, or to bring things to them that could help them cope with mental health so they don't have to go to the outside world, making it discreet. So for my solution, I decided instead of doing an app or checkups or any of those, I decided to do a monthly subscription kit where people who are struggling with depression, anxiety, PTSD, and other mental health disorders, more so the more common ones, will be able to subscribe to something, and it would feature things in it that could help keep them grounded and help them cope with mental health, not cure it, but cope with it. So due to the app being sort of difficult for me to make, I decided to make a website that could also be accessible on a phone. So what I did was I created the website with different versions of the box. As you can see, one is anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, which was really just the easiest ones that I could think of and the more common ones in the African American community. Next to these would be schizophrenia. So I have here what my mission is, and which is to help people cope with mental health and individuals in urban communities overcome the stigma that surrounds mental health as well. Basically, I have a way for people to be able to contact us if they're needed, as well as a live chat so they could be able to talk to a therapist. So this was just basically the boxes that I had that people could order, and it was a monthly subscription for either 3, 6, or 9 months, or a one-time only thing. As I had started doing my research and we were going through different processes where we were getting feedback from community members and teachers as well as the other students, they were giving me advice, telling me that I needed to make my kit and my website more friendly for men and add more activities that they could do in the kit, as well as essential oils and different things that would draw attention to the box. My biggest takeaway from this project would be that there's no one-size-fits-all remedy for mental health and mental health in the urban community. One thing is not going to help solve it or help diminish it. It's going to be years and years of working and people coming together and being able to cope with it, as well as bringing more awareness to it instead of having people feel shameful about it. One thing that I would change if I could go back is I would get more feedback from different age ranges of individuals in urban communities instead of just more so the young people, because everyone can struggle and anyone can struggle with mental health. As well as my focus was more so African Americans in urban communities, and if I could redo it, I would open it to different races and different ethnicities that live in urban communities as well.